Welcome to the Swing Trading Watch List daily and weekly charts, bullish and bearish breaks. Keep in mind we got consolidation now, and some stocks are starting to trade on their own, so a lot of these may be more beneficial. Also keep in mind that the market has no direction yet, so you may not get much follow through, and anything can reverse the market on any day right now. But we are holding in those areas that we need to hold, and we'll look at those market charts. Okay, look at the markets. The Dow didn't quite make it to the 50-day, but it got really close. Most of the sell-off toward the end of the day was mostly Boeing and one other stock that pretty much made a pretty big drag on the market, probably JP Morgan. We had an outside day here. If we had an outside day and it was green, that would be extremely bullish on top of this previous day's candle. If we had some big wicks in this, a smaller body, we'd just still be indecision here. The bigger body indicates a more decisive move back to the downside. So be real careful. This looks like it favored more downside. Now in the futures, we have so far maintained this upward trend we've had here for several days. This is my futures chart off of our pivot system charting package, and every pullback has held where we like to see it hold. This one a little bit deeper here was probably an overnight gap, maybe even the weekend. And the futures doesn't act quite as well off my charting system as stocks do, but you'll see a stock do this sometime if it's overnight. But it has held everywhere it's supposed to. Now it's also tested that about 3 times. We come back down and take out this 2640 area on the futures, we may be going to make another down leg for a little bit. This is just the daily during the day on Friday. We immediately sold off at the open hard, and we went sideways, chopped for a long time, and then had that late day sell off that was a really good trading opportunity, but late day sell off and a little bit of bounce there right into the bell. On the AD lines, this was early morning, and we broke down into this huge sell off in the first 30 minutes, which is right here on the smaller factor system. A heavy momentum there, and then started losing its momentum but continued to grind down, and then finally made this turn back up. The turn back up was pretty assertive along in here. It was pretty strong on the AD lines, but it was hard to find a stock going up. Well, excuse me, there were stocks going up. It was hard to find them. It was, but the market itself was not really making any strides, and a lot of stuff was stopping at the VWAP. So it just continued to be a struggle all day long, kind of going in line with the chop that was going across here the whole time. Never really got any momentum in the futures, and then finally gave way here. This is about close to 3 o'clock, a little before 3, 2:30 to 3 area on the futures. You had the same thing right here, a little ahead of that on the AD lines here, and they got pretty assertive right in here, and then so did the shorter time frame. That was actually started down before 2:30, and the SPY at that time on my real tiny momentum indicator started favoring the downside, and we started picking up shorts right here around 2:30. We got this pretty strong move to the downside, and it ended up being a really good move. You could about found, I'm sure, multiple stocks to trade. Caterpillar made a good move down right then. I picked up on Nvidia a little bit early, and Boeing was my 2 picks for a big move, and then picked up one other stock. I can't remember what it was. Went a little ways in my favor, not a lot. And then we got that bounce, and I got out and didn't get back in. There's your SPY. Got an overhead trend line that I actually just drew off this peak for going forward to be paying attention to. Looks like we're still staying in this sideways movement in this range. Now this was my previous overhead on the SP 500. Remember, I had drawn on here for quite a while on this first run up, and we closed right about there Thursday on this gap up. When we come back down, we tried to hold that, but we did close below the level of that trend line now. So now I'm coming in with this new trend line that I'm going to start picking up on, but I'm going to leave this one here for another day or two because it may continue to hold us in this little wedge here, and that's what I think we're just going to keep sideways grinding unless something crazy moves the market. The banks didn't move the market like they wanted them to. They kind of considered Friday as the big earnings day. Some airlines are moving pretty good, but other than that, the banks definitely didn't help the market. They might have beat, but they actually sold off pretty hard at the open. This is a negative candle, and so I think we're probably headed back down here to revisit the 200 as it progresses up. That also lines up with this original trend line we had drawn, and then we drew another trend line. This was drawn on a weekly chart. That's the reason it's not touching there. You put it on the weekly, it is drawn off that low. Just doesn't line up just right on the daily charts, but it's still the weekly period is what it's keying off of. So obviously that's going to be support wherever we meet it. If we get there, that's a big deal. Hopefully we'll stay above this trend line, which is the original sell-off back on February. I think that was what, the 9th. Yep. And you know, look at how far out here we are, guys. 2 months past the big sell-off. And I've talked about this over and over that I thought we were going to get stuck in this range down in here, and that's where we are. Hopefully nothing globally will make a big factor on us, and we'll just chop sideways here, and we'll let it figure it all out. Still no time for swing trades. It's our new shorter format video. You don't even need to watch the last 15 minutes. Those are tutorials on the recap sheets and the charts. If you need the tutorial on the charts or about what the graphs mean in the recap with the yellow and red and green lines on the watch list, go over to 9 minutes before the end of this video, and there's a complete tutorial about the recap grids and about the charts. That's the last part of the video. That's where you'll find the subscribe window, and right after that is where the tutorials are. It's the last 9 minutes of the video. If you're already familiar with that, you don't need to watch when you get to that point. And that's where this subscribe screen will appear right before the tutorial. Be sure to watch our new video series, Swing Trading Watch List, Calls in Action, with charts right off our STS Pivot System charting package. Many charts as they progress through the factors, and you'll be able to pick up on some trades many days ahead of what the bull and bear zone breaks show on the swing trade list. You'll see charts like this that triggered a short back on the 19th and gave this retracement alert that we traded today on the 21st, with the price to re-enter the trade right on the chart, red zone retracement. You'll find out more about that right after the recap grids. We got a section there we're going to tell you about that. You may pick up some stocks for like a one-day trade and so forth. Just don't get married to anything, and don't get in so deep that you get yourself in trouble. A lot of the airlines, this one not being one of them, AAL did not do that well on Friday. ALK had a monster day. I had a big option trade that I picked up on this on my 50 factor algo chart on our STS pivot system. I had picked this up weeks ago on this sell-off, and it was just sitting right where it looked like it wanted to go up. And we had Delta had some pretty good earnings, I think, that was affecting that sector, although AAL didn't participate. I picked up the $60 call on this late on Thursday, $1.65, and on this big run up after the slight pullback, I sold it at 4.30 the next day. That's $2.65 profit on a $1.65 investment. So that ended up being a really good pop there. Got up to the 50-day early and pulled back, and then ran on up and then pulled back, closed just above 50 days. Pretty strong candle on this stock. I just didn't want to give it back with a weak market. I just went ahead and liquidated that position. It may continue on up for several days. Not sure what can sustain in this market. Definitely good stock to keep on watch. It's generally not a great day trader unless it's got some momentum. So it may have some momentum if it holds above this 50 and that sector continues to move. We'll see what Monday brings. CCL, again, we're on a weekly bears. Had another big down day on Friday. Just barely closed in the bear zone. This is a support area. This stock really needs to hold on this overall downtrend. $63 and a penny is that number. This is your YY weekly chart at the 50 week. This is a big support resistance line here at 96.39. Lost it this week. Went into the bear zone on the weekly a little bit earlier in the week. And here's your daily, losing the 200 day as well. So this is definitely probably headed down at least to this area, which is $84.07. Get a look at these other breaks. Your daily bear break list from Friday. AAP down 396. Went into the bear zone. This is pretty much a big consolidation area. I'll try to clean that off the chart here if I can find it. The 200 day is not far down below. That was a pretty big bearish candle there on Friday. Several other stocks pretty big down days. Your weekly bulls, you still got a few that's was up there and actually still having green days. A lot of that is it's a daily chart, of course, not a weekly. A lot of this energy sector is still pretty strong. And then your daily bulls, pretty short list there. FFIV had a big day up on a gap up. Really hard day trade stock. And if you're trying to day trade, boy, please watch your volumes. That's what makes it so hard. I'll find a lot of setups, and I'm just skittish when I don't have volume because they jerk the bids in and out. And I'm not going to trade a super thin stock. When you look at a 1 minute chart and you start to see dashes on your chart, you got pretty much no volume there for 2 or 3 minutes sometime, and those are the kind of stocks that jerk the bids around on you and you get hurt. We'll get over and look at the bigger recaps and see what we can find there. This video is being brought to you by STS Pivot System Charting Package for day traders, swing traders, and option traders. Easy to follow charts and scanners, trigger prices right on the charts, on the setups. We teach 2 trades long and 2 trades short. That's all. It's that simple. Just like you see on this chart, the trigger price for this trade was in the corner over here from this point on, with this price posted not to take it up here, and it did not trigger, but it wasn't posted as a trigger anyway. Came back. This is a classic, beautiful setup. Breaks right here. 167.26 was our trigger price. And we developed these same lines where you can overlay them on your shorter term charts. This is a 2 minute. By not taking that trade early when it went up here to 167.11, you avoided this 30-something minute pause here. It's not quite 30, about 15 minutes. This was a 60-something cent pullback by waiting on our trigger price to get in the trade here. And we were predicting that trigger price. This didn't go green until this happened. You have that up arrow where we're showing the price to go long at, and as soon as it triggers, it immediately gives a go short because it's so close to flipping back over. So that's exactly where it occurred, was right here. And that is how simple that package is to use trigger price is right on your charts. Got a 7-day free trial offer, 10-day money back guarantee. Once you get this set up, it's $69 a month. And we're extending as a courtesy, if you take this package, full access to the website, including the trade room if you want to come in and out of there as well. It's not part of the charting package, but it's an offer we're letting you come in if you want to. And I mentioned this in a video about a week ago that we were going to do this. Any previous member to Day Trader Setups from day one ever paid $1 to us, this $69 fee is waived. You can come in and try the 7-day trial, no outlay of cash whatsoever. If you decide you want to go with this package, then you can sign up. Remember, the purpose of looking at the recaps is we're going back 5 days. So this was Friday, this was last week, this was 1 day back, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day, and it says dot 1, dot 2, dot 3, and dot 4 with a dot 0 would be today. So that's how they're labeled, and they show the profit based on the time that we triggered them to the short or the long. And you can go watch the tutorial and learn how we interpret these yellow and green lines and check boxes. But the purpose is to allow you to come in and pause your video, pick up on the stocks that went into the bull yesterday, see that they're still green today. At a quick glance, see what is maintaining its bull zone. Maybe the same bull zone it broke yesterday, and it may be a new calculated high bull zone that it's maintaining as if it's progressing up for several days. Some stocks, this one probably, the bull zone is actually this little green line where it originally broke, and it probably hasn't really recalculated on this particular stock, but sometimes a stock that moves up quite a bit, it will recalculate it, and this checkbox indicates that it's still above the new currently higher calculated bull zone. Like in the case of this stock, 4 days ago it broke out, so that's 4 days back, 1, 2, 3, way back here. So the bull zone at the time of this break is actually given to you right here. The trigger price was $96. So at the time of the break, way down here was where the green line bull zone was. So now this stock has progressed for 4 days in a row, broke out of this consolidation, and it's still above the new currently high calculated bull zone. That's a great example. PSX, I'm sure, is going to be the same. 1, 2, 3, 4 days back, this broke at 97.42. Way down here, this stock broke out of consolidation. So if you'd watched our video 5 days ago, PSX was on a bull zone break. You look at your chart, you find the consolidation. There's you a nice 4-day run on 2 stocks in that sector that continue to be strong with the yellow and green every single day along the way. The green is this lower green. It was there the first day and stayed there. So this stock has been strong every day all the way. That's how you get the benefit from using this watch list. Every stock, of course, doesn't perform that way. That's why you can go back and review. That's what the recap's all about. And I'm going to slide this up where you can get a look at these stocks, because this is a pretty big day right here. See what's still maintaining momentum and keeping the check box, keeping the yellow. This one lost the yellow, but it's still moving up there real strong. It's just losing some of its momentum. We like to catch this yellow early on. It's part of the setup, and if we can maintain that yellow, as long as we maintain that yellow, we are still gaining momentum in that trade. That's why we call that our trend power. Our stabilities were based on the low price of each day. Pull this down a little bit so you can pause and get another look at the rest of that list. And we're going to move over to the bears. Not many on the bear list the day before because we had such a big day. This stock actually had an up day. Still way down on the daily here, and that's its weekly chart. None the day before that on the bears. AMT had a bear day 4 days ago. It's still struggling down here, trying to decide what it wants to do. It's been a pretty good day trader for a few days. CCI right in the same sector. And then this was 5 days back. You still got a few. O'Reilly just continues on down. This came in bear zone 5 days ago. 1, 2, 3, 4 days back right here. This hit our daily bear zone. The bear zone level at that time right here on the chart, 235.05, way up here. Gave that green day, continued down, stayed in the bear zone, and this stock has moved down over $10 in 5 days. It's at the 200 day here now. But that's how you can utilize this list and use it every night to see how it's progressing. Check it the next day. The next day, in this case, you had a green day. You could set yourself up an alert when you'd be interested in going back short if it doesn't hold. Our STS pivot system originally put this short on the 6th day of April. Now this came in the next day on the bear zone break. And if you were using our charting package, after this base here, on that green day, the end of the day, right at the close on the 10th, we had this trigger to the reshort 235.43. So you'd have had this right, it was right here at the very end of the day. You'd have been on top of this. Now here's what happened. This went down on the 11th, back up and revisited. We love our retracements. This is a 100 factor, so that's about a $3 or $4 bounce here, right back into our level, and we would give a reshort on this chart, middle of the 11th, and the price would be right on your chart where reshort that at. The price given red zone retracement as it goes back up here will give you that signal back down. It's always at least a minimum of 2 factors. This is a 100 factor, so at least $2 off those highs. We give you the signal price right here. Get this back in your short vision, and here you go from whatever that value was right in this area around 234, and you got another $10 downside. And you already had it in our bear zone alert from the charts. $69 a month is all it costs you to have this package. And with the package, you can actually scan the exact scan that I'm using here on your own set of stocks. I do scan 5,000 stocks here. I of course don't scan that many on Ninja, but you can scan any price level stocks you want to scan for this exact weekly and daily bear zone alerts that I give in this video. That's not what my pivot system is all about, but I included the daily bull and bear break codes in there. Got pre-built scans for that. You can even use our bull and bear breaks on 30-minute, 60-minute, 15-minute charts if you choose to do so. They're all pre-built in the system for you. A lot of people have been following this for over a year with me, my bull breaks and my bear breaks, and so I wanted to know how can they scan for those same things even on intraday. So I did include that in the package. You don't even have to use my pivot system charts if you don't want to that run off the factors. You can use whatever part that suits your needs. Thanks for watching our videos. We'll see you next week. Be sure to subscribe to our channel while you're here, and follow us on Twitter, and follow us on StockTwitch, and go over to daytradersetups.com, click on Ninja 8 charting, and you can learn more about our STS pivot system charting package. Thanks for watching. This is a tutorial on our recap sheet. What you will see here is this column here is the weekly list. It's at the beginning on the weekly bear and bull breaks, the daily bull breaks and bears, depending on which one we're looking at, and then you will have 5 days following. First day, second, third, fourth, fifth. So what's here today will be here tomorrow. It'll shift over to here, then to here, then to here. So you got 5 days you can go back and look. The price here You got the bull zone trigger price 36.80. This is the price of the profit since this alert. This is the net change on the stock for today. So tomorrow when this shifts over here, this number will be the same where we triggered it at. That number will stay in here for 4 days. The profit will be shown based on the current price of the stock in the day compared to this price on the alert. Like for instance on this stock, $3.48 profit from this break based on this close price, up 92 cents today. This number is the profit at the high since we alerted it. It's the most profitable it's been. It got up to $4.27 profit, pull back, closed at $3.48. As you go on over, like this stock here, SMTC, this was the break. This is the profit so far since the first day, $5.61 4 days later, and at the peak it was $6.31 profit. That's what these columns mean. The next part you'll find is this yellow line. It represents what I'm going to show you over here in just a moment, momentum. It can be on a bull or a bearish chart. And then trend stability, if it's green, it represents on the bulls, and the bears will show a red line for trend stability. The last part you'll want to know about, there's these check marks. They represent the bull zone as it progresses higher. Could be the same as yesterday. Down here, this could be the bull zone that's gotten higher and higher and higher as this stock went along, and it means it's still maintaining the bull zone levels. Even the new ones, it's staying above them. This is what the bear grid looks like. Looks the very same. Got the weekly, 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day, 5 day. So you got a chance to see the stability of the trade. You know if it was up or down today after it went in a bear zone the day before. The stability, the momentum, and the bear zone level with the check mark. In the video, we will take this page and we will slide these up and down so you have a chance to pause the video and see every single stock that's in the list. Then we'll move it up where you can see these items, and you can pause the video, and then you can see every single symbol in the list. You can go to your charts and look up what's going on. So that's what's in each one of these grids. The current day, day before, day before, day before, day before. So going back 4 days, you got your weekly there. And all this is right here is something I prepare for myself. I take this day, and this day, combine them into this watch list every day, and that's what I carry forward over to my scanners. And just a quick part about what we mean by these levels changing. This is the bull zone level that the check mark represents, the stock staying above. But the bull zone level when this stock broke out was way down here. This was the first breakout, and then as it recalculated our bull zone, that's what the green check mark means, is it's maintaining momentum. The yellow line represents this line that is our minimum momentum indicator used on down or up trades, and then our bull zone levels where it first broke out. And that's all these mean. Trend stability, this is a line we use here, and we come in and we call it trend stability, and that's what this represents here. This line is solid green rather than dotted. It's something we look at on the lows of the day, not being low enough for us not to qualify it for trend stability. So that's all these columns mean. So you'll be able to refer to the strength of the stock that is maintaining high enough lows to stay trend stable, what the profit is if you're staying above the bull zone. That's how you'll use this, and that's your tutorial on the grids. This is a mini tutorial on what the lines mean on my charts if you're a first-time viewer or been a while since you viewed. We're scanning on weekly and daily charts for my condition. When this green line is up, it's my bull zone, and when the red line is up, it's my bear zone. You need to be aware of support and resistance lines and what charts do at levels, and that's what these levels are for. Just quickly as I can do this, and we're going to put a video on YouTube getting more from your swing trading charts. that'll be more detailed and look at more stocks, how they react to these lines. But the gist of what you see here is this is what I'm scanning for. And as you can see here, this showed up in the bear zone. It did go down for a few days, but these green lines are support. And that's why it fought for a few days, tried to bounce back up, headed back down again, came right back into the bull zone, bear zone, excuse me, and continued on down. Now the lines, here's what they represent. A green line is a place that a stock went up to and rejected. So as this green line redrew itself every time we made highs right here, and then it stayed across here for reference points, continues the same line here for reference points. Resistance, when you get above it, becomes support. This green line was drawn way back in the history, and when this stock broke above this resistance level, when it came back down, it held it, it held it, it held it, it tested it and held it again and again. That was support. That's why I want you to be aware of what these lines mean, and you'll see them on my charts. And then the activity that stocks do, sometimes they go, that's my first target, that's my second target. Many times stocks go target 1, pull back a little, target 2, then they may pull all the way back to 1 and go again if they're continuing an uptrend. In this case, it did the pull back. This blue line is a 50 period moving average, this orange line is a 200. So that's what I want you to be aware of as well. And then I have a pivot system that consists of this blue line at the top, yellow line at the bottom, and my target 1 and target 2. You'll see this particular day this stock gapped down, huge gap down, open way down here. The low on this stock was 169.68. I'm getting that right out of this box over here. And the value of that yellow line was 169.67. Within 1 cent, it held that line and bounced that day for a huge bounce. It's not a support level, but it's where I look for stocks to try to hold. It's where I look, if I'm short, say from here, this is where I'm looking to get out. I'm looking to move 2 levels, target 1, target 2, going up, target 1, target 2. The pink lines all represent places the stock has gone down to and bounced. This pink line is referencing this last pivot low. So as you're selling down into it, it may bounce again. If you get below it, then it becomes resistance. And that's all these lines mean. I just want you to know what they mean going forward. Thanks for watching the video. Let's get started.